Introduction. Change does not take decades. It does not even require years of waiting or endless preparation. The truth is far more direct and far more powerful. The exact moment you decide to walk away from the old version of yourself, everything inside you begins to shift. Not someday, not later, right now. Most people remain stuck because they keep waiting for the perfect moment to change their lives, believing that clarity, confidence, or motivation will magically arrive first. But perfection never comes, and waiting only strengthens the habits that keep you trapped. Real transformation begins the instant you choose action over excuses. It starts with focus, with intention, and with a clear blueprint that tells you exactly what to do next. Without direction, effort is wasted. Without structure, motivation fades. That is why this audiobook exists. Inside it, we will break down the exact steps you need to follow over the next 21 days to begin a complete transformation of your life. Not vague theories, not abstract concepts, but clear, practical actions you can apply immediately. These actions are designed to rebuild you from the ground up, reshaping your mindset, restructuring your habits, and restoring your confidence step by step. Each chapter delivers a crucial piece of the puzzle. You will learn how to burn away the excuses that have held you back for years, how to design a future so clear and compelling that it pulls you forward, and how to build the discipline and systems that make success no longer optional but inevitable. This is not temporary motivation that fades when life gets hard. This is lasting change, the kind that forces you to look back just 3 weeks from now and barely recognize the person you used to be. All it requires is commitment, consistency, and the courage to push yourself further than you ever have before. Because in just 21 days, you can set powerful habits in motion, sharpen your mindset, and gain the clarity that can change everything about your future. Let us begin.
Chapter 1. Burn the old you to the ground. Before you can build the life you have always wanted, you must first release the person you have been. This is not optional. You cannot step into a new identity while still holding on to the comfort, habits, and thinking patterns of the old one. Transformation demands separation. If you truly want your life to change over the next 21 days, you must make a bold, almost radical decision. The old version of you does not get to come with you. The version of you built on excuses, bad habits, fear, and self-doubt must be destroyed, not repaired, not adjusted, not slightly improved, but completely burned to the ground. This may sound extreme, but it is the truth most people avoid. Real change never happens when you try to fix small pieces of your life while leaving the foundation untouched. Imagine trying to build a powerful new house on cracked, unstable ground. No matter how impressive the design, it will eventually collapse. Your life works the same way. If you carry the same toxic habits, the same negative thought patterns, and the same limiting beliefs into this next chapter, nothing meaningful will change. So today, you must declare an ending. Pause and look directly at the person you have been, the choices you made, the fears you followed, the comfort you protected, and the opportunities you ignored. Be brutally honest. Who do you no longer want to be? What behaviors have been silently holding you back for years? This step is not about shame or guilt. It is about clarity. You cannot fight what you refuse to face. Here is the hard truth. For a long time, you have been strengthening the identity of the old you. Every time you procrastinated, every time you chose comfort over growth, every time you said yes when you should have said no, you fed that version more power. But starting now, that changes. From this moment forward, you take your power back. You stop feeding the old identity. You stop giving it energy. You stop allowing it to decide your future. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through symbolic action. Write down everything you are leaving behind, the habits, the fears, the excuses, the patterns that no longer serve you. Be specific. Then destroy that paper, burn it, tear it apart, throw it away. This is not just a ritual, it is a declaration. You are stating clearly, that version of me is finished. The next 21 days will demand courage. The old you will try to return. It will whisper lies, that it is too hard, that you cannot change, that you failed before. When that voice appears, remember this moment. Remember that you burned the bridge behind you. There is no going back. When you destroy the old you, you create space for the new you to rise, stronger, more disciplined, more powerful. This new identity is not built on hope or wishful thinking. It is built through action, repeated day after day. Today marks the true beginning, not just of a 21-day challenge, but of an entirely different life. The old you is gone. The future you have always imagined is waiting to be built, and it starts now.
Chapter 2. Create a vision so clear that it pulls you forward. Now that you have burned the old version of yourself to the ground, it is time to intentionally design the future you want to step into. You cannot simply leave the past behind and walk into emptiness. If your life has no clear direction, you will drift back into familiar patterns without even realizing it. This is where most people fail. They attempt to change their lives without defining what they are changing into. Think of it this way. If you were beginning a long road trip, you would never just get into the car and start driving aimlessly. You would choose a destination. You would set the GPS. Even if you did not know every turn along the way, you would still know where you were headed. Your life works the same way. Without a vision, you wander. With a vision, every step has purpose. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck is simple: clarity. Successful people do not rely on vague hopes or distant wishes. They hold a crystal clear picture of the life they are building. Their vision is so vivid and compelling that it pulls them forward, especially on difficult days. When the alarm rings in the morning, their vision is what gets them out of bed. When obstacles appear, their vision is what keeps them moving instead of quitting. This means you must get specific. Vague dreams produce vague actions. Saying, "I want to be successful," is not enough. Success means different things to different people. For one person, it may be financial freedom. For another, it may be deep relationships, inner peace, or physical health. You must define what success means to you. If you do not, you will end up chasing someone else's dream and wondering why fulfillment never comes. Here is a powerful exercise. Close your eyes and imagine it's 12 months from now. You have lived with focus, discipline, and commitment for an entire year. What does your life look like? Where do you live? How do your mornings feel? Who surrounds you? How much are you earning? More importantly, who have you become? Do not only focus on what you have, focus on who you are. The clearer this vision becomes, the more power it holds. Write it down in detail. Do not keep it trapped in your mind. There is something transformative about putting words on paper. It turns a dream into something real. It shifts intention into commitment. Be bold. Do not edit yourself out of fear or doubt. Write the life you truly want, even if it feels impossible right now. Then break your vision into areas: your health, your finances, your relationships, your personal growth. Define what extraordinary looks like in each one. This matters because life will constantly try to pull you in different directions. Distractions will compete for your attention. Other people's opinions will try to influence your choices. Without a strong vision, you gain an internal compass. Every decision becomes simple. Does this move me closer to my vision or further away?
If it brings you closer, you say yes. If it pulls you away, you say no. Over the next 21 days, your vision will be your fuel. There will be moments when motivation fades and the old version of you tries to return. When that happens, return to your vision. Read it, visualize it, feel it, let it pull you forward. People who live without a vision drift through life by default, but people with a clear, compelling vision live by design. They do not wait for the future, they build it. Today, you are choosing to live by design. You destroyed the old you. Now you are laying the foundation for the new you. Create a vision so vivid, so real, that it excites you and scares you at the same time. Because when your vision is strong enough, you won't need to force yourself endlessly. The vision will pull you. And when that happens, transformation becomes inevitable.
Chapter 3. Take extreme ownership of your life. Up until this moment, you may have blamed people, circumstances, or even luck for where you are today. Maybe you blamed your past, your upbringing, your lack of opportunities, or the unfairness of the world. And the truth is, some of that may be real. Maybe you were hurt. Maybe chances were taken from you. Maybe life truly was not fair. But here is the harsh reality you must face. Blame will never move your life forward. Blame keeps you stuck exactly where you are. Ownership is what sets you free. Taking extreme ownership means you stop pointing outward and start looking inward. It means you accept one powerful truth. No one is coming to save you. Not tomorrow, not next year, not ever. If your life is going to change, it will change because you decided to change it. At first, this realization can feel heavy, even uncomfortable, but it is also the most empowering truth you will ever accept. Because if you are the problem, then you are also the solution. Most people resist this idea. They cling to excuses because excuses feel safe. They say things like, I would be successful if my boss wasn't so difficult, or I would be healthier if my family supported me, or I would be happier if life gave me a break. But every time you say those words, you hand over your power. You give control of your life to someone else and then wonder why you feel trapped. From this moment forward, you take the wheel back. Everything in your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, your happiness, is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your boss, not society, not the government, yours. This does not mean everything is your fault. There's a difference between fault and responsibility. You may not have caused every problem, but it is still your responsibility to deal with it. If someone spills coffee on your shirt, it is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to clean it if you do not want to walk around stained all day. When you fully embrace this mindset, something powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop waiting for approval. You stop waiting for life to get easier. You begin to act like the CEO of your own life, making decisions with intention, clarity, and direction. Here is how you begin practicing extreme ownership over the next 21 days. Start by taking an honest look at every area of your life, your career, your relationships, your health, your finances. Write them down and ask yourself, where am I not taking full responsibility? Be brutally honest. If you are unhappy at work, don't just blame your boss. Ask yourself what actions you have taken to improve the situation or change it. If your health is suffering, don't blame genetics or a busy schedule. Ask yourself what daily choices you are making that create that reality. Next, eliminate victim language from your vocabulary. Words shape your identity. When you say, I can't, or it's not my fault, or there's nothing I can do, you train your mind to stay powerless. Replace those words with ownership. Say, I choose. Say, I will. Say, here is how I will fix this. Even before you have all the answers, speaking with ownership changes how you think and how you act. Finally, commit to solving problems, not just identifying them. Anyone can complain. Very few people take responsibility and act.
The more you focus on solutions, the stronger and more capable you become. Extreme ownership is not easy. It demands humility, courage, and ruthless honesty. It requires admitting when you wasted time, avoided hard choices, or settled for less than you were capable of. But it also gives you freedom. Once you stop blaming and start owning, you realize something powerful. You are not trapped by your past. You are free to create a completely new future. Look at the people you admire most. None of them waited for permission. None of them waited to be rescued. They owned their choices, took bold action, and did what was required. Now it is your turn. The old you is gone. The new you doesn't make excuses. The new you acts, even when it's uncomfortable. From this day forward, no more blaming, no more waiting. You are in charge. You are the driver. And if you stay committed to this mindset for the next 21 days and beyond, there will come a moment when you look at your life and barely recognize it, because you built it with your own hands.
Chapter 4. Master your mornings. Win the day. If you truly want to change your life, the first thing you must change is the way you begin each day. Your mornings set the emotional, mental, and physical tone for everything that follows. Think about the days you wake up late, rush through the morning, and step into chaos before you even catch your breath. The rest of the day usually feels scattered, unfocused, and reactive. But when you wake up with intention, calm, and clarity, you create momentum that carries you forward no matter what the day brings. Highly successful people understand this truth. They do not leave their mornings to chance. They design them deliberately, the same way an architect designs a masterpiece. The first hour of your day is the foundation of everything that follows. When that foundation is strong, the rest of the structure stands firm. But when it is weak and rushed, everything built on top of it eventually collapses. Most people start their day by reacting to the world. They reach for their phone, check messages, scroll through social media, and allow other people's demands and opinions to flood their mind. Before breakfast, they are already overwhelmed, stressed, and distracted. They have not thought about their own goals, priorities, or direction, yet they are drowning in everyone else's noise. That is not how you win. Here's the truth. If you do not take control of your mornings, something else will. Your phone, your job, the news, or other people will decide your mood, focus, and energy before you ever get the chance. That's why for the next 21 days, you will design and protect your mornings like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Start by creating a morning ritual that prepares you mentally, physically, and emotionally for the day ahead. It doesn't need to be complicated, but it must be intentional. Begin by waking up earlier than usual. Even 30 extra minutes can create the space you need to think, reflect, and plan without distraction. That quiet time is powerful. It's where direction is set. Once you're awake, resist the urge to immediately check your phone or emails. Instead, do something that centers you. This could be deep breathing, meditation, reading something meaningful, or writing in a journal. The goal is simple: quiet the external noise and focus on who you choose to be today. Next, move your body. It doesn't matter if it's a full workout, a short stretch, or a quick walk outside. Physical movement wakes you up, releases tension, and signals your brain that it's time to show up. Even 5 minutes of movement can completely shift your energy. Then, review your priorities. Ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I must accomplish today to move closer to my vision? Write them down. These are your non-negotiables. When you're clear on what truly matters, distractions lose their power. Another essential practice is gratitude. Take a moment to recognize 3 things you are genuinely thankful for. Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to abundance. It grounds you and strengthens your resilience before the day begins. When you start your day with intention, you place yourself firmly in the driver's seat.
Instead of reacting to life, you begin creating it. In the beginning, discipline will be tested. The old you will want to hit snooze, check your phone, or put it off until later. Do not listen. Every morning is a fresh opportunity to become the person you are building. Over time, these mornings will compound. The clarity, focus, and energy you develop will spill into every area of your life, your work, your relationships, your health, and your confidence. For the next 21 days, guard your mornings fiercely. Make them sacred. Because when you master your mornings, you don't just win the day, you begin winning your life.
Chapter 5. Erase the habits that keep you stuck. By now, you can start to feel a shift happening inside you. You have burned the old identity, created a clear vision, taken full ownership of your life, and begun mastering your mornings. A new version of you is starting to take shape. But here is the reality you must face. None of this will last if you keep dragging your old habits into your new life. You cannot rise into your full potential while carrying the same destructive patterns that kept you average. Trying to grow while holding on to bad habits is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of bricks. No matter how determined you are, the weight will slow you down. Habits are powerful because they shape your days, your weeks, and eventually your entire life. Most of what you do every day is not the result of conscious choice, it is automatic. That is why bad habits are so dangerous. They operate quietly in the background, slowly sabotaging your progress without asking for permission. Here's the truth most people miss. Success is not only about adding good habits, it's also about erasing the bad ones that keep you trapped in cycles of frustration, delay, and failure. And it starts with awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Over the next 21 days, observe yourself with honesty. Watch your patterns like a detective. Notice when you procrastinate. Notice what triggers mindless scrolling, unhealthy eating, skipped workouts, or hesitation driven by fear and self-doubt. Write these moments down. This is not about judging yourself, it's about exposing the routines that have been controlling you without your consent. Once you identify these habits, accept a hard truth. They did not appear overnight. You built them through repetition, and the only way to destroy them is to stop feeding them. Think of a fire. When you stop adding fuel, it doesn't disappear immediately. It flickers, it resists, but eventually it dies out. Bad habits work the same way. When you stop giving them your attention, time, and energy, they lose their power over you. Now get practical. For every habit you want to erase, identify the trigger, the moment that starts the behavior. Stress, boredom, overwhelm, fear? Once you know the trigger, you can interrupt the pattern. Stress shows up, move your body instead of reaching for comfort. Boredom hits, read, write, or step outside instead of scrolling endlessly. The key is replacement. You don't just remove a habit, you replace it. If you leave an empty space, the old habit will eventually return. Another powerful strategy is environment design. Most people rely on willpower alone, but willpower fades. A smarter approach is to make bad habits harder to access. Remove junk food from your space, delete distracting apps, set limits. Move your alarm clock away from your bed. Make the wrong choices inconvenient and the right choices easy. This process will challenge you. Your old self will fight back. You will slip at times, and that's normal. Progress does not require perfection. What matters is consistency. One mistake does not erase growth unless you let it. Imagine where you could be in 21 days if you simply stop doing what holds you back. Imagine the energy, clarity, and confidence you would regain.
Clearing bad habits is like removing weeds from a garden. Only then can something stronger grow. Today, make a list of the habits you are ready to erase. Be honest, be specific, commit fully. Because the life you want is not only built by what you start doing, it's created by what you finally stop doing. When you erase the habits that keep you stuck, you unlock the freedom to rise higher than you ever believed possible.
Chapter 6. Forge Unbreakable Self-Discipline. Motivation is a powerful spark, but it fades quickly. You've felt it before, that surge of energy after hearing an inspiring message or setting a bold goal. For a few days, you feel unstoppable. Then life intervenes. You get tired, you get distracted, old habits begin to pull you back. This is where most people fall short. They rely on motivation, and motivation is temporary. Discipline is what remains when motivation disappears. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when you do not feel like it. It is the difference between people who only dream and people who actually do the work. It is the reason some reach their potential while others stay trapped in a cycle of starting, stopping, and starting again. If you want real transformation over the next 21 days, you must build discipline that does not bend under pressure, discipline that makes your actions non-negotiable. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many believe it means living without joy or being harsh with yourself. In reality, discipline is freedom. When you are disciplined with your time, your health, and your money, you gain control over your life. You stop living in chaos. You stop reacting to circumstances. Discipline gives you direction. Without it, you drift. With it, you decide where your life goes. The foundation of discipline begins with identity. You must decide who you are. When you see yourself as someone who follows through, your behavior naturally aligns. If you identify as a healthy person, skipping workouts feels wrong. If you identify as someone who honors commitments, procrastination feels uncomfortable. Identity drives behavior. So stop saying, "I need to be disciplined." Start saying, "I am disciplined." This shift rewires how you act. Next, start small. Too many people attempt to change everything overnight. They create massive routines and push too hard, too fast. Then they burn out. Discipline is a muscle. You strengthen it gradually. Choose one or two key behaviors and practice consistency. Small wins compound into momentum. Daily non-negotiables are a powerful tool. These are simple actions you commit to every day, no matter what. Drinking water, writing for 10 minutes, exercising for 20 minutes. When you keep these promises, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes the backbone of discipline. Understand this truth. Discipline is forged through discomfort. Every time you wake up early, finish a task you want to avoid, or say no to temptation, you strengthen your discipline. It won't feel comfortable, but it will make you stronger. Structure also matters. Do not rely on willpower alone. Create systems that support your goals. Plan ahead. Prepare your environment. Reduce decisions. The easier it is to do the right thing, the more consistent you become. You will slip at times. When that happens, do not quit. Discipline is not perfection, it is persistence. Recover quickly and move forward. Over the next 21 days, every choice becomes a test. Comfort or growth, excuses or action. Each disciplined choice is a vote for the person you are becoming. Discipline is not built in one moment, it is built through repeated action. Master discipline and you master your life. Because with unbreakable self-discipline, your dreams stop being wishes and start becoming reality.
Chapter 7. Command your time. Command your destiny. Time is the most precious resource you will ever possess.
Money can be earned and lost again. Opportunities can appear and disappear. But once a single minute passes, it is gone forever. That is why the most successful people treat every moment with absolute respect. They do not waste it. They do not allow others to steal it. If you want to transform your life completely over the next 21 days, you must learn to command your time. How you use your hours will directly determine the quality of your future. Most people drift through life reactively. They wake up without a plan, check their phones, and immediately surrender to other people's agendas. Emails, notifications, social media, endless tasks. By the time half the day passes, they have achieved nothing meaningful. They confuse busyness with productivity. They hustle, they rush, they stress, and yet the week ends with them feeling stuck in the same place. This happens because they have never truly decided what matters most. Here is the truth you must embrace. If you do not take control of your time, someone else will. Your boss, your colleagues, your friends, even strangers online. They will dictate how you spend your life if you allow them. That cannot happen anymore. The next 21 days are about shifting from living by default to living by design. It starts with clarity. You must know exactly what is important to you. Look back at the vision you created in Chapter 2. Identify the 3 to 5 areas that matter most: your health, your career, your relationships, your personal growth. Once you know your priorities, you have a filter. If a task does not move you closer to those priorities, it is not worth your time. Next, plan your days with precision. Do not wake up hoping to be productive. Design your schedule the night before. Write down the top 3 tasks that will create real progress toward your goals, your non-negotiables. When you wake up, tackle them first. This is called eating the frog, and it prevents procrastination from stealing your momentum. One of the most powerful tools for managing time is the time block method. Instead of scattered multitasking, assign specific blocks of time to focused work. For example, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for deep work, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. for calls or meetings, and so on. During each block, commit entirely to that task. No distractions, no splitting attention. This allows your brain to work efficiently and get more done in less time. Protect your focus like a fortress. Every glance at your phone or social media interrupts your concentration. Even a short check can cost over 20 minutes to fully regain focus. Turn off notifications. Keep your phone in another room. Build an environment that nurtures deep work instead of constant interruption. Learn to say no. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a no to something critical. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Before agreeing to anything, ask yourself, does this align with my vision? Does it move me closer to my goals? If not, decline politely and move on. Commanding your time also requires scheduling rest and renewal. It's not about working endlessly, it's about using your energy intelligently. Like an elite athlete, train hard, but recover wisely. Over the next 21 days, track every hour. Awareness is the first step. You may be shocked at how much time slips away on distractions. Once you see the leaks, plug them and redirect that time into building your dream life. Imagine where you could be a year from now if you mastered this skill. The same 24 hours everyone else has could produce extraordinary results for you because you use them deliberately with precision and purpose. Command your time and you command your destiny. Your future is built not in years, not even in months. It's built in the minutes and hours you choose to spend today. Every moment is a vote for the life you want. Make each vote count.
Chapter 8. Rewire your mind for relentless growth. Your mind is the command center of your entire life.
Every action you take, every decision you make, every habit you form, it all begins with a single thought. If you want to transform your life in the next 21 days, it starts here, changing the way you think. Because here is the hard truth. You can have the perfect plan, the perfect goals, and the perfect opportunities, but if your mind is still programmed with fear, doubt, and limitations, you will sabotage yourself before you ever succeed. Think of your mind like a computer. If the operating system is outdated or riddled with bugs, no matter how powerful the hardware, it will never run efficiently. Most people attempt to build a new life while running old, faulty mental software. They upgrade their goals, but not their mindset, and that is why they keep ending up frustrated, stuck in the same cycles, and repeating mistakes they thought they had left behind. To truly evolve, you must rewire your mind for relentless growth. This means clearing toxic, limiting thoughts and replacing them with beliefs that propel you forward. Step 1. Awareness. Many thoughts running through your mind are not even your own. They are patterns absorbed from family, friends, past experiences, and society. Somewhere along the way, you internalized lies like, "I'm not good enough," "Success is for others, not me," or "I always mess things up." These messages have played on repeat for years, quietly shaping your behavior without your conscious permission. Over the next 21 days, become the observer of your thoughts. Watch the stories you tell yourself. When you catch a negative or limiting belief, pause, question it. Ask, who told me this? Where did it come from? Is it helping me or holding me back? Shining a light on these lies weakens their power. Then replace them with empowering truths. For instance, if the old belief says, "I am terrible at consistency," your new belief becomes, "I am disciplined and follow through on my commitments." At first, it may feel foreign or even false, but repetition rewires your brain. Visualization is another essential tool. Each morning, close your eyes and picture yourself living the life you desire. See yourself acting with confidence, achieving your goals, and navigating challenges with strength. The brain cannot fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. By visualizing your success daily, you train your mind to believe it is not only possible, but inevitable. And when your mind believes, your actions naturally follow. Rewiring your mind also requires embracing discomfort. A growth mindset sees obstacles as opportunities, not reasons to quit. When something feels difficult, shift your thinking from "I can't do this" to "this is how I get better." Every challenge becomes a lesson, every failure a teacher, every setback a chance to rise higher. Similarly, guard what you feed your mind. Just as your body becomes what you eat, your mind becomes what you consume. If you constantly absorb negativity, toxic news, gossip, or criticism, you remain trapped in fear and doubt. Instead, read books that inspire, listen to content that challenges you, and surround yourself with people who believe in growth. Replace mindless scrolling with deliberate learning and reflection. Persistence is key. Old beliefs will try to creep back. That inner voice might say, "You'll never change, this is who you are." When that happens, refuse to engage. Redirect your focus to the identity you are actively building. Remember, you are not your thoughts, you are the thinker. You choose which ones to believe. Now, picture yourself 21 days from today, standing taller, speaking with confidence, acting decisively. Not because your circumstances changed, but because you did. Your mind has become your ally, not your enemy. When you rewire your mind for relentless growth, the limits of your past no longer bind you. You become unstoppable. Not someone trying to change, but someone already evolving every single day. And once your mind expands, your life will never shrink back to its old size again.
Chapter 9. Fortify your focus in a distracted world. We live in an era where your attention is under constant attack. Every notification, every advertisement, every piece of breaking news is engineered to pull your mind away from what truly matters. Think about how many times you've sat down with a clear intention to work on something important, only to find yourself scrolling on your phone 20 minutes later, wondering where the time disappeared. Distraction has become normal. Focus has become rare, and because it is rare, it is incredibly valuable. If you want to transform your life in the next 21 days, you must reclaim control of your focus. Because whatever you focus on consistently will grow. Your focus is like sunlight. When it is scattered, it provides warmth but little power. But when it is concentrated, like a laser, it can cut through steel. The same principle applies to your life. When your energy is spread across endless distractions, you make slow, insignificant progress. But when you channel that energy into one meaningful direction, you create extraordinary results. The reason most people never experience deep focus is simple. They allow the world to decide where their attention goes. The first step in fortifying your focus is identifying what steals it. In today's world, your phone is often the greatest enemy of concentration. Social media, emails, notifications, these platforms are designed to keep you hooked. It is not your fault that you feel pulled toward them. They are built to be addictive. But while it is not your fault, it is your responsibility to protect your mind. For the next 21 days, commit to controlling your technology instead of letting it control you. Turn off non-essential notifications. Delete apps that drain your time and attention. Create tech-free zones in your day, especially during your morning routine and your most important work hours. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. Next, embrace single tasking. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain can only focus deeply on one thing at a time. When you jump between tasks, you waste mental energy and reduce the quality of your work. It's like trying to run in two different directions at once. You end up exhausted and going nowhere. Instead, do one thing with full presence. When you work, work. When you train, train. When you speak to someone, give them your full attention. This alone can transform your productivity and the quality of your relationships. Another powerful strategy is creating focus rituals. Your environment shapes your behavior. A cluttered workspace creates a cluttered mind. Start by clearing your physical space. Order signals clarity to the brain. Then create small rituals that tell your mind it's time to focus. It might be deep breathing, specific music, or a simple pause before starting. Over time, these rituals become mental switches, instantly pulling you into a state of concentration. You must also protect your focus from people. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your time and energy. There will always be interruptions, drama, and requests that pull you off your path. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is necessary. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you say no to your growth. Be intentional with your yes. Clarity strengthens focus. When you don't know what matters most, everything feels urgent. Each morning, identify your top 3 priorities, the actions that move you closer to your vision. During your most focused hours, work only on these. Leave emails, errands, and low-impact tasks for later. Use techniques like focused work intervals followed by short breaks to train your brain for sustained concentration. Over time, your focus becomes stronger, just like a muscle. Remember, focus isn't only about productivity, it's about fulfillment. When you are fully present, life feels richer. Work becomes meaningful. Conversations deepen. Even silence becomes powerful. Over the next 21 days, treat your focus like gold. Guard it fiercely.
Every time you resist distraction, you reclaim a piece of your life. Every time you give full attention to what matters, you shape your future. In a distracted world, focus is a superpower. Most people will continue to live scattered, reactive, and pulled in every direction, but not you. You've chosen intention over noise, purpose over impulse. Because when you fortify your focus, you gain the power to shape your destiny, one concentrated moment at a time.
Chapter 10. Build a circle that forces you higher. No one transforms their life completely alone. Your journey is personal, your choices are yours, and your responsibility is yours. But the people around you quietly shape the direction of your life every single day. The conversations you hear, the attitudes you absorb, the behaviors you witness repeatedly all leave an imprint on your mind. Whether you notice it or not, you are constantly being influenced. Your environment is not just physical, it is emotional, it is mental, and nothing shapes that environment more powerfully than the people you allow into your circle. There is a hard truth you must face if you are serious about growth. You become like the people you spend the most time with. If your closest companions are negative, complacent, and addicted to excuses, staying motivated and disciplined becomes a constant uphill battle. Even if you carry big dreams in your heart, their mindset will slowly drag you back down. It's like trying to climb out of a bucket while others keep pulling you back in, not because they hate you, but because your growth reminds them of what they are unwilling to do. Now consider the opposite. When you surround yourself with people who are disciplined, driven, and hungry to improve, something powerful happens. Their standards rise, and so do yours. Their habits challenge you. Their conversations stretch your thinking. Their presence alone forces you to grow. You start demanding more from yourself without anyone saying a word. This is why your circle matters more than motivation. Motivation fades, environment stays. Over the next 21 days, you must take an honest and courageous look at your circle. Ask yourself difficult questions. Who supports your vision? Who drains your energy? Who challenges you to grow? And who keeps you comfortable where you are? This is not about ego. This is not about superiority. This is about protecting your future. You only have so much time, energy, and focus. You cannot afford to give unlimited access to people who sabotage your progress, even unintentionally. Start by identifying toxic influences. These are the people who constantly complain, criticize, and focus on problems instead of solutions. They dismiss your goals. They mock ambition. They disguise negativity as realism. Sometimes their influence is obvious. Other times it's subtle, hidden behind jokes, sarcasm, or concern. But the effect is the same. Their energy slowly erodes your belief in yourself. You don't always have to cut them out completely, especially if they are family or longtime friends, but you must reduce their impact. Set boundaries, share less, protect your vision until it becomes strong enough to stand on its own. Next, intentionally seek growth-minded people. These are individuals who expand your perspective instead of shrinking it. They ask better questions. They push you to think bigger. When you talk to them, you leave feeling energized, not exhausted. These people don't let you settle for mediocrity. They remind you of who you are capable of becoming. If you don't currently have people like this around you, don't use that as an excuse. Create opportunities, join communities, attend events, learn from mentors. In today's world, influence is no longer limited by distance. Books, voices, teachings, and examples can all become part of your circle if you engage with them consistently. Another essential element is accountability. Setting goals is easy. Following through is hard. That's why having someone who holds you accountable is powerful. Find someone who will challenge you when you feel like quitting. Someone who won't accept your excuses. Accountability is not about pressure. It's about support. It's about having someone who believes in your potential enough to demand more from you when you forget what you're capable of.
Understand this clearly. The people who push you the hardest are often the ones who care the most. They won't always tell you what feels good. They'll tell you what you need to hear. That honesty may sting in the moment, but it can save you years of stagnation. Growth requires friction. Comfort keeps you stuck. Finally, recognize your role in this process. Don't just look for people who will elevate you. Become someone who elevates others. Be disciplined. Be reliable. Be driven. When you live by high standards, you naturally attract people who are walking a similar path. Excellence recognizes excellence. Over the next 21 days, make it your mission to upgrade your circle. Reduce exposure to negativity. Increase exposure to growth. Build an environment where discipline, progress, and self-respect are normal. Because when your circle is strong, you don't have to fight alone. Even on difficult days, you'll be surrounded by people who pull you upward instead of holding you back. Your destiny is not shaped by your decisions alone. It is shaped by the people who walk beside you. Choose wisely, because the right circle won't just change the next 21 days of your life. It will change everything that comes after.
Chapter 11. Turn pain and fear into fuel. Pain and fear are two of the most powerful forces you will ever encounter in your life. Most people spend their entire existence running from them. They avoid discomfort. They hide from challenges. They choose familiarity over growth and safety over possibility. And without realizing it, they allow fear to quietly dictate their decisions, their habits, and ultimately their destiny. But here is the truth most people never understand. Pain and fear are not here to destroy you. They are here to shape you, strengthen you, and forge you into the person you were meant to become. The real problem is not pain. The real problem is not fear. The problem is how you respond when they appear. Think about this deeply. Every great transformation in history was born out of struggle. Every person you admire, every life you respect, every story of greatness you look up to was built through resistance, hardship, and uncertainty. They didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because they chose to face pain and fear head on, while everyone else ran in the opposite direction. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is feedback. It is a signal that something in your life needs attention, adjustment, or transformation. It shows you where growth is required. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. It points directly toward the edge of your comfort zone, and right beyond that edge is the next level of your life. For the next 21 days, you must learn to see pain and fear differently, not as threats, but as tools. Instead of avoiding discomfort, lean into it. When something feels uncomfortable, awkward, or difficult, that is your invitation to grow. Growth never happens in comfort. Comfort keeps you exactly where you are. Growth happens when you stretch yourself, when you do the thing you don't feel ready for, when you step into situations that challenge your identity and test your strength. Pain is the price of progress. Every time you feel it, remind yourself, this is proof that I am evolving. Fear works the same way. Most people treat fear like a wall. They see it and immediately stop. They delay. They make excuses. They tell themselves they will act later when they feel more confident, more prepared, or more secure. But that moment never comes. Fear is not meant to be eliminated. Fear is meant to be faced. The things that scare you most are often the exact things you need to confront to reach the next level of your life. If a goal doesn't scare you at least a little, it's probably not big enough. Here is the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, how do I get rid of my fear? Start asking, how do I move forward with my fear? Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. Brave people don't feel less fear than others. They've simply trained themselves not to let fear make their decisions. One practical way to do this is to break fear into smaller steps. When a dream feels overwhelming, starting something new, speaking up, leaving a situation that drains you, don't focus on the entire mountain. Focus on the next step, just one action. Small, consistent actions weaken fear because each step proves to you that you can handle more than you thought. Pain, when used correctly, becomes fuel. Think back to the moments in your life that hurt the most, the disappointments, the failures, the rejections, the heartbreaks. Instead of burying that pain or pretending it doesn't exist, use it. Let it remind you why you refuse to settle. Let it fuel your hunger to rise. Tell yourself, I will never live that version of my life again. Most people try to numb their pain. They distract themselves. They escape. But pain that is avoided becomes baggage. Pain that is embraced becomes power. When you channel pain into action, discipline, and growth, it becomes one of the strongest driving forces you will ever have. Here is an exercise to anchor this transformation. Write down the 3 biggest fears holding you back right now. Be honest. Then, next to each fear, write one small action you can take this week to face it. Not someday, this week. At the same time, write down one painful experience or struggle that has been weighing on you. Look at it directly and ask yourself, how can this make me stronger? Over these 21 days, you will be tested. Fear will whisper doubt. Pain will tempt you to quit. In those moments, remember this truth. Your greatest breakthroughs live on the other side of what you're afraid to face. When you turn pain and fear into fuel, you stop running, you start rising. And one day, you'll realize the very things you thought would break you were the same things that built the strongest version of you that ever existed.
Chapter 12. Stack small wins until you're unstoppable. When most people imagine transformation, they picture a single explosive moment, a dramatic breakthrough, a sudden event where everything changes overnight. But that version of success is mostly a myth. Real, lasting transformation rarely happens in one giant leap. It happens quietly, slowly, through small, consistent actions repeated day after day. Those actions may feel insignificant in the moment, but when they stack together, they create momentum so powerful it becomes impossible to stop. Think of it like pushing a snowball down a hill. At first, it's small, heavy, barely moving. Every push feels like effort with little reward, but as it rolls, it starts to grow. It gains size, it gains speed, and eventually it becomes a force that no one can stand in front of. Your personal growth works the same way. Every positive action you take adds another layer. You may not see the change immediately, but if you stay consistent, there will come a moment when the results are undeniable, not just to you, but to everyone watching from the outside. The biggest mistake people make is underestimating the power of small wins. They think, if I can't change everything at once, why even try? So they either attempt too much, burn out, or quit, or they do nothing at all. But here's the truth. It's not massive, dramatic changes that transform your life. It's the simple actions you choose every single day. Drinking water instead of skipping it. Waking up when you said you would. Reading 10 minutes instead of scrolling endlessly. Speaking up once instead of staying silent again. These choices may look small, but they are the building blocks of the person you are becoming. Small wins matter because they rebuild trust with yourself. Every time you make a promise and break it, your confidence erodes. You slowly start believing that your word doesn't mean much. But when you set a small, realistic goal and follow through, something powerful happens. You send yourself a new message. I can rely on me. That self-trust is the foundation of discipline, confidence, and long-term success. Once you trust yourself, bigger challenges stop feeling overwhelming. So how do you begin stacking small wins? Start simple.
Identify 1 or 2 areas of your life you want to improve. Don't try to fix everything at once. That's how people fail. Choose one direction: health, focus, growth, finances. Then pick one small daily action that moves you closer. If it's health, maybe it's a glass of water every morning. If it's focus, maybe it's 10 minutes of reading or journaling before touching your phone. The size of the action doesn't matter. Consistency does. Intensity is overrated. Consistency is unstoppable. It's better to take a small action every day than a huge action once in a while. Think about it. Someone who works out 20 minutes every day will always outperform someone who goes hard once a month. The compound effect of small wins will always beat short bursts of motivation. Another powerful benefit of small wins is momentum. Each win creates a positive feedback loop. You feel progress. That progress builds confidence. Confidence leads to action. Action creates another win, and before you realize it, you're doing things that once felt impossible, not because you suddenly changed, but because you grew step by step. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. That's normal. The old version of you will try to pull you back into comfort. On those days, remember this: it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even if you can't do everything, do something. Protect your streak. One small action is enough to keep the momentum alive. Here's a simple practice that strengthens this mindset. At the end of each day, write down 3 wins, no matter how small. Maybe you made your bed. Maybe you chose water over soda. Maybe you finished a task you'd been avoiding. This trains your brain to focus on progress instead of what's missing. Over time, you'll start seeing proof that you are moving forward, even when the change feels slow. Think of yourself as a builder. Each small win is a brick. One brick doesn't look impressive, but place them day after day, and soon you've built something strong, something unshakable. One day, people will look at you and say, "Something's different." They won't see the daily choices you made. They'll only see the result, and you'll know the truth. Not luck, not shortcuts, just relentless consistency. Stack your small wins, protect them, celebrate them, because when you master consistent progress, you don't need miracles. Momentum becomes your power, and once momentum is on your side, nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you.
Chapter 13. Think and execute like the top 1%. Most people want success, but very few achieve it. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they don't think like the top 1%, and they don't act like them either. The truth is, the gap between ordinary and extraordinary isn't talent or intelligence, it's mindset and execution. If you want to become unrecognizable in 21 days, you must begin to think and execute like the top performers in the world. The first thing you need to understand is this: the top 1% see the world differently. Where most people see problems, they see opportunities. Where others see obstacles, they see puzzles to be solved. They don't waste energy complaining about what they can't control. Instead, they focus relentlessly on what they can control. This mental shift alone sets them apart. While the majority are busy blaming circumstances, the top 1% are taking action and creating results. You must adopt this same way of thinking. The next time you face a challenge, catch yourself before you slip into victim mode. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I use this to grow? What's my next move?" That single question puts you back in a position of power. Successful people don't sit around waiting for perfect conditions. They make progress with whatever resources they have, even when the situation isn't ideal. Another key difference is decisiveness. The top 1% make decisions quickly and with confidence. Most people waste endless time overthinking, second-guessing, and waiting for certainty. But here's the thing: certainty doesn't come before you act, it comes after. Successful people understand that hesitation is the enemy of progress. They'd rather make a decision, learn from the results, and adjust along the way than sit still doing nothing. Remember this: progress beats perfection every single time.
But thinking like the top 1% isn't enough. You must also execute like them, and that means being obsessed with follow-through. Average people set goals. The top 1% build systems. A goal might inspire you for a while, but a system keeps you consistent. For example, instead of saying, "I want to lose weight," they create a system of daily habits, meal prep, scheduled workouts, tracking their progress. Instead of saying, "I want to earn more money," they design a process to generate income step by step. Systems make success predictable instead of random. Another element of execution is speed. The top performers move fast. They understand that ideas mean nothing without action. When they get an idea, they don't just think about it, they test it. They take that first step immediately, even if it's small. Why? Because action creates clarity. While everyone else is stuck planning and talking, they're already learning, adjusting, and gaining momentum. Over time, this speed compounds, creating a massive gap between them and everyone else. To execute at this level, you must also eliminate distractions. The top performers don't waste time on things that don't matter. They guard their focus like treasure. They say no more than they say yes. They prioritize relentlessly. They understand that every hour spent on something trivial is an hour stolen from their vision. If you want to rise to the top 1%, you must become ruthless about how you spend your time and energy. And here's something many people overlook. The top 1% are relentless learners. They don't assume they know everything. They seek out mentors, read constantly, and surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow. Their ego doesn't get in the way of their evolution. While others are comfortable being good enough, they're always asking, "How can I be better?" That humility mixed with hunger is a powerful combination. Start practicing this mindset today. When you wake up, ask yourself, what would the top 1% version of me do today? How would they approach their morning, their work, their conversations? Then act as if you are already that person. Over time, those actions will solidify into habits, and those habits will transform your identity. The truth is, there's nothing magical about the top 1%. They simply live by principles most people ignore. They take full responsibility. They move quickly. They think big, but execute with precision. They block out noise and focus on what matters, and they never stop learning. Over the next 21 days, commit to thinking and executing like the top performers in the world. If you do, you'll notice a shift. Decisions will feel clearer, progress will accelerate, opportunities will appear because you're finally moving at a higher frequency. And one day, you'll look around and realize you've joined that rare group of people who don't just talk about their dreams, they live them. This isn't about being better than others, it's about being the best version of yourself. When you think and execute like the top 1%, you're not just chasing success, you're building a life of impact, fulfillment, and freedom. A life that inspires others to rise as well. That's the real reward of playing at the highest level.
Chapter 14. Stay ruthlessly hungry while remaining humble. One of the most dangerous traps on the journey of transformation is comfort. Success has a way of softening people. You work hard, you push through challenges, you start to see results, and then, without even realizing it, you begin to relax. You let your guard down, you start coasting instead of climbing. Slowly, the hunger that drove you begins to fade. This is how people slip back into their old patterns. They stop growing because they think they've made it. If you want to create a life that's unrecognizable 21 days from now, and even more so a year from now, you must develop a mindset of relentless hunger. Hunger is what keeps you striving for the next level. No matter how much progress you've already made, it's that inner fire that says, "I can do better. I will do better." The moment you lose that hunger, you start to decline. Look at anyone who's achieved extraordinary success over a long period of time. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They all have one thing in common. They never stop chasing growth.
Even when they're at the top of their game, they act like they're still the underdog. They don't take their position for granted. They wake up each day with something to prove, not to others, but to themselves. Here's the challenge. Staying hungry doesn't mean being reckless. Hunger without balance can turn into ego. When you let success go to your head, you become blind to your weaknesses. You stop listening, you stop learning, and you start thinking you're invincible. That's when downfall begins. History is full of stories of people who reached great heights only to lose it all because they let arrogance take over. The key is to balance hunger with humility. Hunger drives you to push forward, but humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that there's always more to learn, that there's always someone out there working harder, and that success is never guaranteed. Humility allows you to stay open to feedback and to grow without losing touch with who you truly are. Practically speaking, here's how you can stay ruthlessly hungry while remaining humble. First, always set new challenges for yourself. When you achieve a goal, celebrate briefly, but then move on to the next target. Don't let one victory become a resting place. Let it be a launching pad. Write down what's next, even before you've finished what you're currently working on. This keeps your momentum alive and your mind focused on growth. Second, surround yourself with people who inspire you and keep you honest. A strong circle won't let you settle. They'll celebrate your wins, but they'll also call you out when you're slipping. The right people will challenge you to stay sharp while reminding you to stay humble. If everyone around you constantly tells you how amazing you are, you're in danger. Seek out mentors and peers who are ahead of you, who will remind you that there's always another level to reach. Third, stay connected to your why. Hunger fades when you forget why you started in the first place. Take time to reflect on your deeper purpose, the reason you're pushing so hard for this transformation. Maybe it's to provide for your family, to create freedom, to become a role model, or to fulfill your potential. Whatever it is, keep that purpose front and center. On the days when you feel tired or tempted to coast, your why will reignite your fire. Finally, practice gratitude. This might sound simple, but it's powerful. Gratitude is the antidote to ego. When you regularly take time to appreciate what you have, you stay humble. You realize that even though you've worked hard, much of your success is built on the support, opportunities, and lessons you've received along the way. Gratitude keeps your heart open while hunger drives your ambition. Over these next 21 days, you will make progress. You will experience wins. And when you do, remember this: the journey isn't over. Every step forward is just the beginning of what's possible. Don't let early success fool you into thinking the work is done. Stay hungry. Wake up each day with the mindset of a beginner, ready to learn, ready to grow, ready to fight for your future. But at the same time, stay humble. Remember where you came from. Remember the struggles that shaped you. Remember that no matter how far you go, there's always another level to reach. When you combine relentless hunger with deep humility, you become unstoppable. You rise without arrogance. You grow without losing yourself. And that balance, that rare combination, will make you a force that not only achieves incredible success, but also inspires everyone around you to rise higher too.
Chapter 15. The Day You Become Unrecognizable. Imagine standing in front of a mirror 21 days from now and barely recognizing the person looking back at you. Not because your face has changed, though even that might carry a new sharpness and confidence, but because something far deeper has shifted. The way you think, the way you breathe through pressure, the way you move through the world with certainty instead of hesitation. That reflection is not an accident. It is the result of every disciplined choice you made when it would have been easier to quit. This is the moment everything has been leading toward.
Real transformation never announces itself with noise. It doesn't arrive with fireworks or applause. It happens quietly, day by day, decision by decision. Most people miss it because they obsess over how far they still have to go. But one day, without warning, you notice something different. You pause before reacting. You face a challenge you once avoided. You keep a promise you would have broken before. And in that moment, it becomes clear, you are no longer the same person. Through these chapters, you have dismantled the old identity that kept you trapped. You stripped away excuses. You replaced confusion with clarity. You built discipline where there was once chaos. You trained your focus. You learned to convert fear into fuel, to stack small wins, to protect your time, and to surround yourself with people who elevate your standards. Brick by brick, you laid the foundation for a life most people only talk about but never commit to building. Now you've reached a critical point. This stage is simple to understand, but difficult to execute. You must fully step into the identity you've been constructing. This means you stop seeing yourself as someone who is trying to change. You are the change. You are the person who acts without waiting for motivation. You are the person who follows through. You are the person who shows up even when no one is watching. This is no longer a challenge you're participating in. This is who you are becoming. At first, this new identity may feel unfamiliar, like wearing a suit that hasn't molded to your body yet. You're aware of every movement, every choice. But with repetition, it begins to fit. Eventually, it becomes natural. Effort turns into instinct. Discipline turns into identity. You no longer force yourself to act. You act because it's aligned with who you are. Understand this clearly. Transformation has no finish line. Even when you're unrecognizable from who you were 3 weeks ago, there is always another level ahead. This chapter is not an ending, it is a launch pad. That's why humility matters. It keeps you open, it keeps you learning, it keeps you hungry for growth instead of trapped by ego. Take a moment to acknowledge the old version of you, not with regret, but with gratitude. That version survived. That version carried you here. But now it's time to release it completely. Like shedding an old skin, you must let go without looking back so you can fully step into who you are becoming. Here is a powerful way to seal this shift. Write a letter to yourself dated 21 days ago. Thank that version of you for enduring. Then declare without hesitation who you are now. Describe your habits, your mindset, your standards, your energy. Speak it with certainty. This is not imagination. This is identity reinforcement. This is the moment you decide there is no return to the past. From this point forward, you are no longer the one who hesitates, doubts, or hides. You are a builder, a creator, a disciplined force shaping your own destiny. Challenges will come, but you will meet them with clarity. Fear will appear, but you will use it as fuel. When others try to pull you backward, you will rise above with calm strength and relentless determination. The moment you fully claim this identity, your external world begins to respond. Opportunities align, relationships evolve, results accelerate, because the world reflects what you believe yourself to be. Look in the mirror one last time. See the strength in your eyes. See the fire in your posture. This is you, the real you, and from this moment forward, there is no turning back. Conclusion. 21 days ago, you made a decision. You chose to step away from the version of yourself burdened by fear, doubt, excuses, and unrealized potential. You chose discipline over comfort, ownership over blame, growth over stagnation. And that decision changed everything. Along this journey, you dismantled limiting beliefs, you forged new habits, you strengthened your focus and proved, through action, that you are far more capable than you once believed. You faced discomfort, you confronted resistance, you showed yourself what commitment looks like when excuses are no longer an option. But understand this clearly. This is not the finish line. This is the beginning. Transformation is not a one-time event. It is a way of living. These 21 days were about rewiring your mind, sharpening your discipline, and giving you the tools to build a future that exceeds your past. Now the responsibility is yours to continue. The principles you've learned do not expire. Discipline, clarity, courage, focus. These are muscles that must be trained continuously. Some days will feel effortless, others will test you. Old habits will try to return, doubt will whisper, life will apply pressure. In those moments, remember why you started. Dig deeper, keep moving forward. The difference between those who sustain success and those who fall back is not talent or luck, it is commitment. It is the decision to keep showing up after the excitement fades. It is choosing your vision even when no one else sees it yet. As you move forward, keep refining your vision, keep upgrading your circle, keep stacking small wins, and most importantly, keep becoming someone whose life inspires others without needing words. 21 days may seem short, but you've proven how powerful commitment can be. You are no longer who you were. You've built a foundation of strength, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Now expand it. The next chapter of your life is unwritten, and you hold the pen. The choice is yours every single day. Look back with gratitude. Look forward with purpose. Stand firmly in the present with courage. You've built the blueprint. You've stepped into the identity. Now go live it. This journey doesn't end here. It only grows stronger from this moment on.